Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name is Larry, and my call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome back to my shack here in Northwest Oregon to Ham Radio Live Show 43. You know, we talk about a lot of things here, and the show is dedicated, this channel is dedicated to new hams, people who would like to be in the ham radio hobby, folks that would like to be on the air. Now, I don't try to take for granted the fact that it can be expensive to do this. And I don't want you to think it's too expensive to do this. So this show is about a good starter radio to start out with. You can still find them. They're on places like QRZ, QTH, eBay, eHam. There's lots of places that have them. This is the Icom IC-735. Now, the 735 came out in the 1980s. So we're talking pre-digital noise reduction. We're talking pre-digital, period. Okay? This is a long time ago. Hello to Will, 16320. Welcome to the show. Folks, this goes back a ways, but this is a great analog rig. It really is. It's portable. It will get you on the air, and it comes out with 100 watts. Now, compared to modern rigs, it does pretty much everything they do. You get microphones, so SSB. You can do Morse code. That's pictured here. If you take a look at the radio here where it says CW, that's what we use for Morse code, so code word, CW. Again, our shows are made for folks who are looking to get into the hobby, interested in becoming hams, to try and make it not so darn inundated, like too expensive, too hard, too this, too that. I want you guys to know you can get into this hobby and enjoy it without breaking the bank, okay? So you've got microphone, which is SSB. That's single sideband. You've got Morse code. You can also transmit on AM and FM. Now, this rig, when it was sold new, would have had a plexiglass, little plastic box cover right here. It would cover those sliders and the buttons, okay? So that part would appear closed. You would pull down this little door and then reveal the sliders and buttons. So that's something that's missing. A lot of these old 735s have that problem. The buttons, just show because the door's gone. And this is one of those unfortunate examples. But it is a really neat historical piece from back in the 80s. Digital readout. This is one of the earlier ham radios that had a digital readout. Also, you get your analog meter, and you have dual VFOs, which is great. That means dual receive options. You can switch between receivers, which is pretty cool. This is, quite a powerful radio for what it is. 100 watts. In comparison to what rigs are today, this radio will do 160 meters through 10. Okay, it doesn't go all the way up to 6, but it will do 160 to 10. All right. Now, it's got automatic gain control. It does have preamp. It's got an attenuator, a noise blanker. It's got quite a bit on it. Price-wise, what are you going to pay for one of these? Well, it's not unreasonable to think you can get one for about $300 to $400, maybe a little bit less. That'll get you started. Again, like I've told you, the first thing to get, in my opinion, is to get good feed line. Buy good quality feed line. You're going to probably sell or trade your radio down the road. You're probably going to upgrade your antenna, but you won't your feed line. So just get the good feed line up front, then worry about the radio. Sounds strange, but it will pay you dividends. Let's listen to it, see what it sounds like. Again, this is a model from about 35 years ago. Keep in mind, too, this is not coming off the Heil sound system. This is not off the PRAS. So we're right now on 20 meters. And the VFO simply spins. There's different ways to move the VFO here. Okay. The VFO can be moved and adjusted quickly by adjusting the megahertz button or the kilohertz button. Okay. Go right to ham bands. It will scan. If you want to scan frequencies, it'll scan through the frequencies. You scan right through. Away you go, right? But if you want to use it just to, get on the air, perfect rig for that. Perfect. Okay. Just listen. This brings back great memories to me because it's how I learned DXing. I didn't have a pan adapter screen. I just used the radio. Just tune the radio. So that's Massachusetts. So obviously picking up Massachusetts. Now, I've tried to set this video up in a way that would be similar to the way a young ham or a newer ham would do their station. So we have this starter radio. We have a wire dipole antenna. We're using the ZS6 BKW wire dipole, similar to a G5RV. Remember, shorter on the radials, the ends that come out the top, longer on the ladder line coming out of that top conductor. That's the difference, okay? Let's go back to the rig. Contest weekend. So we'll find some signals. So there's November Echo 1 Charlie from Massachusetts. Again, nothing wrong with this radio, except it doesn't transmit. That's the one thing I'm having a hard time. It will not TX. But just tuning around 20 meters, it gives you an idea of what it sounds like, what it looks like. Boy, remember the old Icom logos. Look at that. And this is right about the time when we started getting digital displays. Right about when digital became the norm versus the analog dial. Yeah, good point, Will. Great point. Put that on the screen just a second. Will just states, and this is true, RX is a great way to start. So again, contest weekend, you're going to hear numbers that will be, for example, 59. In that example, 221. That means this is 221st contact. Now, this rig was sold in the 80s. It has been, of course, replaced by many subsequent models. I'd rather let you listen to it than listen to me, because this is kind of a unique treat. We don't get to see many older rigs anymore. Considering this is over 30 years old, 35, a little more than that. Let's take a listen and just enjoy a little bit of ham radio history here. Here you go. I'm just going to put the microphone closer to the speaker and let you enjoy.
Thank you. Your number 223, 223, Minnesota, Mike November. Yankee 137 Iowa, over. I'm not getting it. Give me the number again. California Whiskey Delta 510. 10-6 Lima Hotel Lima, you're 279, Texas. November 0, you're 2. Echo. Whiskey 1 United Echo CQP. The Norway 6 Foster Italy. You're number 334 in Massachusetts. Delta Papa Delta, I need your, you give me 3 and, what's your call again there? Delta Papa Delta, your call sign again? Kilo 6, Delta Papa Delta. I copied your 3 in San Luis Obispo County, SLUI. Thank you, sir, 73. I got all the information there. I got all the information. Thank you for the QSO there, 73. You are number 192, Minnesota, 192, Delta Papa Delta. Thank you, QSO.
Something missing there from a lot of radios. Going to say something missing from a lot of radios today in RIT. This is for people who are just slightly off frequency. You can adjust the frequency through the RIT to make it sound better.
X-ray Whiskey 193, Mike November, Minnesota. Kilo 0, Kilo 0, Echo Alpha. I need your number and county, please, over.
Let's go ahead and move over to, we'll go down to 40 and see how 40 sounds on it. A lot of noise on 40 today, clearly. But again, that gives you an idea of what it does. And, we're just going through the memories right now that are in the radio. It will go all the way down to 160, which is nice. A quick way to adjust it down, you could just do it by the megahertz adjustment there, and then go up through the kilohertz. You first start with the megahertz, then you go to kilohertz, and then you adjust it quickly through the kilohertz, and you're up into 80 meters.
Relay, push them in and out. And sometimes the storage, they're not supported good. They're kind of standing on end. And if they're not supported good during the shipment, it will actually break away from because of the weight of them.
So there you go. Just a little bit of history today. That'll be fun to do that. We spend so much time today talking about newer rigs and current technology, which is phenomenal. It really is. But I'll tell you, you lift up that box, the case, you take a look at that speaker, not much change. Still, just saying, manufacturers, you can improve that speaker. But that's the Icom IC-735. Came out in the 1980s. It's one of the earliest rigs that came out with a digital display. Course, has the analog meter, but still, what a nice piece of history. And it shows you can use a rig that's that old, still enjoy it, still use it, still make calls with it, and not break the bank. That's the whole point. So if the idea is to get on the air and you're worried about the money it costs to buy all of your equipment, spend the money up front, buy decent feed line. You maybe spend $100, maybe $125 plus tax for good quality feed line. Then buy yourself the radio, buy yourself the ground round. Wow. Thinking meat. Yeah. Buy yourself the ground rod and your copper braid. Get everything the right way. But you don't have to spend a ton of money to get on the air. You can get on the air with a good radio that will hear signals and make you smile. I mean, again, you heard signals coming all the way from the East Coast, and I'm just about as far west as you can go. 40 miles to the west of me is the cold Pacific waters. So there you go. Icom IC-735, one of the early digital display radios that are out there, and a really nice example to show for you. I hope you enjoyed it. You can get on the air, and you can not break the bank. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with a second older radio review. Going to start a mini series here. These two. One was on the 735. The second one is going to be on the Kenwood TS-2000. Now, that came out in the year 2000. It's like a shack in the box, similar to the 991A, but it's Kenwood's entry into that giant radio that's small. It's cool. You can do HF, VHF, UHF. You can go into, the microwave frequencies. It's an incredible radio. It really is. It can connect with satellites. It does satellite communication. It's really a shack in the box. And it also might surprise you how inexpensive it might cost. Pretty good radio. We'll do that next. The TS-2000 by Kenwood. Thanks for watching. Until next time, thanks for being here. God bless you guys. Appreciate you being a part of Ham Radio Live. Thank you again for everything and for watching the channel. Goodbye, everybody.